Osiris Festival in ancient Egypt, a millennium-old celebration of life. Dear listeners, close your eyes gently and take a slow, deep breath. Feel the ground beneath your feet soften. It's no longer the cold, hard concrete of modern days, but the fertile soil nourished by the Nile for thousands of years. The earth under your fingertips carries dawn's coolness, mixed with the river's moist breath and the fresh, grassy scent of nearby swaying papyrus reeds. A soft breeze drifts north from Thebes, warm with the desert's lingering noon heat, yet wrapped in the mellow, sacred incense from distant temples. Myrrh and frankincense blended into a fragrance that speaks of divinity. When you open your eyes again, you're in ancient Egypt, around 1300 BCE, during the golden age of Pharaoh Ramesses II 19th dynasty. The annual Osiris Festival, as mighty and inevitable as the Nile's flood, comes to you with a nation's devotion and joy, drawing you into this timeless celebration of life. Glance down at your hands. They bear the warm tan of years in the sun, with faint calluses and tiny scratches from daily work. You're a young craftsman from Thebes. Your father is an experienced stonemason, part of the team building the pharaoh's pyramid. Your mother weaves papyrus, brews sweet beer, and tends the small garden behind your house. Like the wheat and flax along the Nile banks, your life follows the steady rhythm of seasons, blessed by the gods and guarded by the pharaoh. The Osiris Festival is the brightest part of this quiet routine. It honors Osiris, the underworld god who conquered death and rose again, and lets every Egyptian share joy, gratitude for life's gifts, and the deep warmth of family. For the next 2 hours, let me walk you through this 7-day celebration. Feel the texture of ancient Egyptian life, the tenderness of family, the pharaoh's majesty, and the touching stories linking gods, humans, and the legacy of pyramid building. Let's drift back to the festival's first dawn, 3 months after the Nile's flood. You wake in a simple adobe house on Thebes' edge, a typical home for common folk. Its walls are made of Nile mud mixed with dried straw, pressed firm to shield against scorching heat. The roof is thatched with dried palm leaves, curving slightly at the edges to block midday sun, trap a little coolness at night, and let rainwater trickle down gently. A small square skylight cuts through the roof, and the first golden sunrise spills onto the linen mat beneath you. Washed again and again by your mother, it carries the soft scent of herbs and sunlight, warm and comforting against your skin. Wake up, my child, your mother whispers beside you, her voice as soft as rustling linen. If you linger, Kemtet next door will steal a sip of my homemade sweet beer. You open your eyes to see her in a pale blue linen robe, light as a feather, with delicate lotus patterns stitched along the cuffs and neckline. A new dress she made just for the festival. The family cherished this linen, beating, rinsing, and drying it repeatedly until it felt like silk. Its soft blue hue came from natural indigo leaves, dyed slowly to glow warmly in the morning light. Egyptians, from nobles to commoners, loved linen above all fabrics. It breathed in the sweltering heat, kept skin cool and dry, and felt pure in the gods' eyes. Cotton hadn't reached Egypt yet, and wool was seen as impure, linked to livestock, worn only by a few nomadic tribes. You stretch, your rough linen nightgown scratchy but sturdy, perfect for working with your father at the construction site or helping at home, a sharp contrast to the fine festival robes. Your mother is already busy by the clay stove in the corner, made of Nile mud mixed with fine sand. It's round and sturdy, with a small lotus carved on its side, a charm your mother asked a craftsman to make, to pray for safe and abundant food. A pot of warm barley porridge simmers on the stove, sweetened with dates and pure honey, its aroma filling the house and stirring your hunger. On the wooden table beside it lie a few pieces of golden, crispy barley bread, ground from hulled barley, mixed with water, yeast, and a pinch of sea salt. It's baked until edges are slightly charred and the inside soft and fragrant. This is every Egyptian staple, eaten morning, noon, and night, topped with sauce or stuffed with vegetables, simple yet satisfying. "Where's father?" you ask, biting into bread dipped in fig jam. Sweet and tangy, your mother made this jam last summer, cooking dried figs slowly with honey, sealing it in a clay jar and storing it in a cool corner. She only brings it out for festivals, family reunions, or when your father comes home tired from the construction site. Your mother ladles porridge into a clay bowl, nodding softly. He's at the pyramid site, of course. The pharaoh's pyramid needs just one more layer of capstones. Your father and his fellow craftsmen are working day and night to finish before the festival's main ritual. That way they'll get the priest's blessing and extra grain from the pharaoh, enough to feed our family for months. You nod, filled with admiration and concern for your father. The pyramid he's building is Ramesses II Grand Tomb, near the Valley of the Kings west of Thebes, standing alongside other pharaohs' tombs. You visited the site once on a day off, and the scene still lingers. Thousands of craftsmen and laborers working in perfect order under the sun. Some cut thick palm trees along the Nile, smoothing the trunks to make rollers for moving stones. Others push massive wooden sledges loaded with tons of limestone from distant quarries, the sledges gliding over thick papyrus and moist mud to reduce friction, each step matched to a deep, rhythmic chant. Still others squat at the pyramid's base, chiseling and hammering stones with bronze tools, ensuring every piece fits perfectly, no gap wider than a finger. Your father once told you solemnly, the pyramid is the pharaoh's ladder to the gods, his home in the afterlife. Every stone carries his majesty and the people's devotion. Not a single mistake is allowed. Even a tiny flaw could anger the gods and bring disaster to Egypt. After breakfast, your mother takes a folded linen robe from a wooden chest, a soft beige one, with a small papyrus flower stitched neatly at the neckline, her handiwork after nights of labor. You slip it on, the fabric soft against your skin, neither too tight nor too loose. Your mother ties a woven linen cord around your waist, adjusting the collar with a smile. There, you look like a true Theban warrior. Today we'll go to the market for festival supplies, then to the workshop near the temple to buy a small Osiris statue. When your father comes home tonight, we'll prepare offerings together for the celebration. As you walk out with your mother, the street is already buzzing with life. The morning sun isn't harsh yet, casting a warm glow over the ground. Adobe houses line both sides, haphazard but charming, each door hung with a fresh papyrus wreath dotted with white lotus flowers. Some families painted simple blessing symbols on their doorframes with red ochre, a traditional way to ward off evil and pray for good fortune during festivals. The street is narrow, barely wide enough for two camels to pass side by side. Its surface is packed hard with gravel and mud, smoothed by years of footsteps, potholes carefully filled with mud. Camels loaded with goods trudge by, their bells ringing softly, mixing with vendors' loud calls, children's laughter as they chase each other, and priests' deep, solemn chants from the distant temple. It's a vivid picture of ancient Egyptian daily life. Vendors have set up stalls along the street, most wearing linen robes like yours, finer in texture and pattern for those who can afford it. Some squat on the ground, spreading a rough cloth to display clay pots, wooden combs, bronze jewelry, and reed baskets. The pots are in earthy yellows and deep reds, carved with simple patterns. Others push wooden carts loaded with fresh fruits and vegetables, still damp with morning dew. You spot a vendor selling crisp green lettuce, round onions, plump garlic, and unfamiliar wild greens, tender and fragrant. These vegetables thrive along the Nile, drought-resistant and essential to daily meals. They are eaten raw to refresh the palate, or cooked with bread and broth. Beside this stall, another vendor sells golden dates, juicy red pomegranates, and soft figs, luxuries on ordinary days. Your mother hesitates, then picks the largest, plumpest bunch of dates, smiling. For you and your father to snack on, and as an offering to Osiris to pray for his protection. Further ahead is the market's heart, busier and more diverse. At the corner stands a papyrus workshop, its entrance lined with neatly stacked papyrus stalks. Craftsmen work step by step, splitting the stalks, removing the pith, soaking the outer fibers to soften them, beating them until they stick together, then laying them out to dry and pressing flat, turning simple reeds into thin, durable papyrus paper. On a wooden table beside the workshop are small clay jars of ink, made from charcoal and plant gum, and reed pens of different lengths. Egyptians used these tools to record everything: religious texts, laws, letters, and business contracts. Your mother stops to pick a small, fine sheet of papyrus. Write your wish to Osiris with a reed pen. We'll burn it during the ritual, so the god hears your prayer and blesses you. Not far away, a beer stall draws a crowd, its sweet aroma tempting passers-by. Egyptian beer is nothing like today's. It's made from ground sprouted barley, mixed with water, honey, and chopped dates, sealed in clay jars to ferment. It has low alcohol content, with a rich, sweet flavor blending grains and fruits, enjoyed by adults, children, and the elderly alike. It's also an essential offering in rituals and celebrations, a bridge between humans and gods. Your mother pushes through the crowd to buy a sealed clay jar, labeled with the brewer's name and fermentation date on a small papyrus strip. The kind middle-aged brewer smiles. I added extra ripe dates and fermented it a little longer, sweeter and richer, perfect for family gatherings this festival. At the market's end is a workshop specializing in god statues, its entrance lined with sculptures of all sizes, each vivid and lifelike. There's Ra, the sun god, wearing a sun disk headdress, his body carved with rays of light. Hathor, the love goddess in her cow-headed form, adorned with a magnificent necklace. And Osiris, the festival star, his statues, made of hard clay or fine wood, show him in a white linen robe, wearing the red and white crowns that symbolize a united upper and lower Egypt. His hands cross over his chest, holding a flail and crook, symbols of kingship, his face gentle yet solemn, as if he sees all. Your mother chooses a small wooden Osiris statue, painted with bright natural pigments. Red skin for life and vitality, black hair for the Nile's fertile mud, eyes inlaid with obsidian, shining with wisdom. We'll place this on our home shrine, she says, offering flowers and food every day, praying Osiris protects our family and keeps your father safe at the pyramid site. With your purchases packed in a heavy linen basket, you and your mother walk home along the Nile. The river, Egypt's mother and life source, has just receded after the flood, leaving a thick layer of fertile mud along its banks. The air smells of damp earth. On either side, farmers sow barley and wheat, bending low as their sweat drips into the soil, nurturing the promise of a good harvest. On the river, a few papyrus boats glide by. Boatmen wear light linen shorts, barefoot, rowing skillfully with polished reed oars. The boats carry grain, cloth, clay pots, and people in festival robes, heading to small temple rituals on the opposite bank. Papyrus boats are Egyptians' most common watercraft, light, durable, and buoyant, made by tying dried papyrus stalks together. They're used for transporting goods, traveling, and fishing, a constant sight on the Nile. By the time you reach home, the sun is high, its heat scorching the ground. You and your mother hurry inside, closing the thick wooden door to block the sun. She sorts the purchases, placing the Osiris statue on the table, the offerings in the storage room, then starts preparing lunch, more elaborate than usual. Along with the usual bread and porridge, she cooks a rich vegetable soup with fresh lettuce, onions, garlic, and a little lamb. Lamb is a rare treat, expensive and saved for festivals, rituals, and family gatherings. On ordinary days, Egyptians rely on Nile fish and poultry for protein: tender tilapia, large catfish, grilled, boiled, or dried, all delicious. As she serves the soup, your mother reminds you, this afternoon will help clean the temple, getting ready for tomorrow's celebration. It'll be hard work, so eat your fill. After a short afternoon rest, you follow your mother to Thebes' largest Osiris temple in the city center. It's a grand structure built from massive, polished limestone blocks, standing firm through the years. At the entrance are two towering Osiris statues, over 10 meters tall, majestic and imposing, guarding the temple's sacred interior and offerings. The temple doors are made of hard oak from distant lands, thick and heavy, carved with intricate reliefs. They show Osiris' death and resurrection, and ancient pharaohs offering tribute to him. The reliefs are painted with bright natural pigments, faded a little by time but still vivid enough to inspire awe. Stepping inside, a long colonnade greets you, with dozens of tall stone pillars lined neatly to support the roof. The pillars are carved with intertwined lotus and papyrus patterns. The lotus symbolizes Upper Egypt, the papyrus Lower Egypt, their union representing the country's harmony. The floor is paved with smooth white stone, covered in dense hieroglyphs. They record Pharaoh's donations to the temple, the grandeur of rituals, and the gods' blessings. Each character a piece of history. The temple's interior is dim, with only faint light filtering through skylights, casting dappled shadows on the ground. The air is thick with the scent of incense, myrrh, and stone, calming your mind and filling you with reverence. Priests in white linen robes and tall religious headdresses bustle about. Some wipe the statues gently with clean linen cloths. Others arrange fruits, grains, and beer as offerings. Still others chant sacred hymns. Their deep, solemn melodies echo through the empty temple, filled with divine power. Your mother and you are tasked with cleaning the temple courtyard, spacious and neat, planted with lotus and papyrus, Egypt's most beloved symbolic plants. The lotus blooms at dawn and closes at dusk, representing purity and rebirth, just like Osiris' story. The papyrus, resilient and abundant along the Nile, symbolizes life and wisdom, and is the source of papyrus paper. You hold brooms woven from palm leaves, sweeping fallen leaves, dust, and pebbles carefully, not daring to disturb the temple's sacred atmosphere. As you work, your mother tells you Osiris' legend in a soft, devout voice. Osiris was the son of Geb, the earth god, and Nut, the sky goddess. Kind and wise, he taught Egyptians to farm, brew beer, weave, and build houses, leading them from primitive life to prosperity. But his brother Set, consumed by jealousy, killed him, cut his body into 14 pieces, and scattered them across Egypt, hoping to stop his resurrection. Osiris' wife and sister, Isis, grieved deeply. She traveled all over Egypt, braving hardships to find the pieces, recovering 13. Only his genitals were eaten by fish, lost forever. With her powerful magic, Isis reassembled Osiris' body, prayed to the gods for strength, and brought him back to life. Resurrected, Osiris chose not to return to the mortal world. He became the ruler of the underworld, judging the dead and protecting the living. The Osiris Festival honors his rebirth, praying for fertile land, abundant harvests, and family safety. Osiris is the kindest of gods, your mother says, pausing to stroke a blooming white lotus in the courtyard. He understands human suffering and cherishes family love. Just like your father, you, and me, we depend on each other, and this love is blessed by the gods. Your father works hard at the pyramid site every day, not just to obey the pharaoh, but for our family. So you have enough to eat, warm clothes to wear, and new robes for festivals, so we can live peacefully and happily. You nod, looking at the faint wrinkles around her eyes, feeling the warmth of her hand. In ancient Egypt, family was the core of life, the most important spiritual support. Whether noble or commoner, everyone valued family deeply. Gathering with loved ones during festivals was the greatest joy and treasure. As the sun sets, painting the temple pillars golden, you and your mother finish cleaning the courtyard, pack up your tools, and walk home. Your father is already back, sitting on a stone bench at the door, tired but content, drinking beer to ease his fatigue. He wears a dusty, rough linen work robe, frayed at the cuffs and hem. His face is weary, eyes sunken, but when he sees you and your mother, his eyes light up with a soft smile and his tiredness fades. The site is going well, he says proudly. All the capstones for the final layer are in place. We're just adjusting them. It'll be finished in 2 days. The pharaoh visited today, with his ministers and priests. He was pleased with our work, and rewarded each of us with a bag of grain and a small piece of bronze, a festival blessing. He pulls a smooth bronze piece from his pocket, carved with a tiny, delicate pyramid pattern, and hands it to you gently. The bronze glows warmly, its lines clear and exquisite. "Keep this as a souvenir," he says, patting your head with his rough, calloused hand, hard from years of work, yet warm. "It will protect you." You clutch the bronze tightly, filled with pride and honor. To Egyptians, the pharaoh was a god on earth, the ruler of Upper and Lower Egypt, the bridge between mortals and gods. Receiving his reward was a great honor, one the whole family would cherish. Over dinner, the three of you sit around the wooden table, the food abundant. Golden bread, fragrant vegetable soup, roasted lamb, fresh fruits, and your mother's homemade sweet beer. Your father pours beer for you and your mother, raises his jar solemnly, and says, "Tomorrow is the Osiris Festival. May Osiris protect our family from harm. May the Pharaoh live forever and rule Egypt for 10,000 years. May our country have good weather and abundant harvests." You and your mother raise your jars, repeat the prayer, then take a sip, the sweet beer warming your throat and heart. The meal is filled with warmth. Your father tells stories of the site, of which craftsman chiseled the most perfect stone, of the priest who held a short blessing ritual. Your mother adds food to your bowl, reminding you to stay close tomorrow, not to touch the temple offerings, to respect the gods and the pharaoh. Moonlight filters through the skylight, illuminating your family's smiling faces. A simple, sincere warmth made even more precious by the festival. The next morning, as the sky lightens, the Osiris Festival officially begins. Thebes wakes earlier than ever. Every household rises at dawn, puts on new festival robes, and heads to the Osiris temple with carefully prepared offerings. Your family joins the crowd. Your mother in her pale blue robe, a fresh white lotus in her hair. Your father in a clean beige robe, a dark linen belt around his waist. You in your mother's stitched robe, the bronze pyramid hanging from your waist, swaying softly as you walk. Your mother packs the offerings, sweet bread, dates, figs, beer, and the small Osiris statue, into a finely woven linen basket. You carry it proudly as you follow the flow of people toward the temple. The streets are packed with people in festival robes, laughter and chatter filling the air. Families walk hand in hand, parents with children, grandparents supported by their kids, children chasing each other with papyrus toys, their laughter bright and contagious. Nobles and officials pass by in grand style, wearing jewel-encrusted headdresses, heavy gold and gem jewelry, and fine linen robes with intricate patterns. They're carried on elaborate wooden litters by slaves, the litters decorated with flower wreaths, white feathers, and golden cloth, magnificent and imposing. Vendors line the streets, shouting loudly, selling festival goods, god statues, incense, flower wreaths, jewelry, and food. The air mixes with food aromas, sacred incense, and joy. The whole city is immersed in celebration and devotion. When you reach the Osiris temple, the square in front is crowded but orderly. Priests stand at the entrance, holding sacred scepters and wearing grand ritual robes, guiding people into the temple in batches to avoid chaos. The ritual starts with offerings to Osiris. People line up before his statue, place their offerings gently on the altar, then fold their hands, bow their heads, and whisper prayers, devout and solemn. Priests chant hymns beside them, their voices melodious, praying for Osiris to hear the people's wishes and bless them. You follow your parents to the statue, your mother arranging the offerings neatly, your father holding your hand as you bow deeply. In your heart you pray, "May Osiris keep father safe at work, protect our family, may the pharaoh's pyramid be finished smoothly, may Egypt thrive forever." After the offering ritual comes the grand procession, the festival's most anticipated event. The procession sets off from the temple, winding along the Nile to a special ritual site, accompanied by drums and music, magnificent and lively. Respected high priests lead the way, wearing white robes and tall golden crowns, holding scepters, walking solemnly. Behind them is Osiris' statue, placed on a grand sandalwood shrine decorated with golden cloth, flower wreaths, white feathers, and sparkling gems, shining in the sun. 16 strong slaves carry the shrine, walking slowly and steadily. Next comes the pharaoh's entourage. Ramesses II in a grand golden robe embroidered with lotus and eagle patterns, wearing the red and white crown, holding a flail and crook. His expression is majestic as he looks out at his kneeling people, carried on a golden litter by 8 slaves. Beside him are the queen, princes, and princesses, dressed in fine robes and jewelry, their faces solemn. You and your parents stand by the road, waiting for the procession. As the pharaoh's litter passes, everyone kneels, pressing their foreheads to the ground, shouting, "Long live the pharaoh! God bless Egypt!" In unison, their voices are loud and resounding, echoing until the pharaoh's entourage fades into the distance. Your father pats your shoulder. The pharaoh is a god on earth, the supreme ruler. Honoring him is honoring the gods, and his blessing will keep our lives peaceful. Behind the pharaoh's entourage are craftsmen, laborers, and performers, playing musical instruments, hand drums, flutes, harps, lutes, filling the air with lively, sacred music. Performers dressed as Osiris and Isis act out their story along the way. Set's betrayal, Isis' search, Osiris' resurrection. Each scene is vivid, drawing cheers from the crowd, reminding everyone of the god's deeds. When the procession reaches the Nile side ritual site, a grand sacrifice begins. The festival's most sacred moment. A tall white limestone altar stands in the center, holding statues of Ra and Osiris, precious offerings, and curling incense. A high priest stands atop the altar, holding a sharp ritual knife, speaking solemnly of Osiris' achievements and legend, guiding everyone to pray devoutly. After his speech, the priest slits a strong bull's throat, sprinkling its warm blood evenly over the altar. This is the supreme offering to Osiris, symbolizing sacrificing the most precious life to gain the god's blessing, praying for fertile land and abundant harvests. The priests then divide the bull's meat into small pieces, giving it to everyone. Nobles, officials, commoners, craftsmen. They believe eating the sacrificed meat will bring Osiris' blessing, keeping them safe and healthy for the year. With the solemn ritual over, the mood shifts to joyous celebration. The festival's excitement reaches its peak. The Nile's grassy banks are filled with laughter, people sitting in groups, singing, dancing, eating, and drinking, enjoying this rare joy. You and your parents find a clean spot, spreading a linen cloth on the grass, your mother laying out the food. Young people dance traditional Egyptian dances to drum and flute rhythms, their movements graceful and lively, full of vitality, drawing applause from the crowd. Others compete in wrestling, archery, and throwing games, the crowd cheering loudly, their voices echoing along the Nile. As the afternoon sun softens, your father takes you back to the pyramid site, wanting you to witness the final construction stages. A historic moment. Most craftsmen have left for the festival, but a few skilled ones remain, making final adjustments to perfect the capstone. The pyramid's main structure is complete, towering dozens of meters into the sky, its limestone surface glowing pale gray in the sun, majestic and awe-inspiring. Your father leads you to the base, pointing to the perfectly fitted stones. Look, each stone is carefully chiseled and measured, fitting together without a single gap. That's what makes the pyramid strong, able to stand for thousands of years, even against wind and rain. You look up, the pyramid towering above you like a silent giant, its surface dappled with light and shadow, adding to its mystery. Your father tells you building the pyramid took immense effort, quarrying limestone from distant mines, transporting the stones to the site, chiseling and fitting them. Each stone weighs tons, needing dozens of people to move. Some are transported by boat along the Nile to nearby docks, then pulled up ramps to the pyramid's height. To ensure precision, priests and craftsmen use the sun's shadows, star positions, and simple measuring tools, following strict religious and architectural rules. No mistake allowed, no matter how small. This pyramid isn't just the pharaoh's tomb, your father says, his eyes full of pride. It's a testament to Egyptian wisdom, hard work, and devotion. It will shine like Ra, watching over Egypt, witnessing our prosperity, remembered forever by future generations. At the site, you see scribes sitting under a temporary awning, writing on fresh papyrus with reed pens, recording construction progress, craftsman's work, and material usage. The scribes wear clean linen robes and simple headdresses. Some use quartz lenses to magnify hieroglyphs, focused and meticulous, unaffected by the noise. Scribes are essential to Egyptian society. Mostly nobles, well-educated, skilled in hieroglyphs, mathematics, and religious rituals. They record everything: religious texts, laws, tax records, business contracts. They are the keepers of knowledge, maintaining social order. Your father says, becoming a scribe is a dream for many. They don't work as hard as craftsmen, yet enjoy high social status. As the sun sets, painting the Nile golden, you and your father bid farewell to the craftsmen and return to the ritual site, where your mother waits with leftover food and beer. Darkness falls and people light torches, their glow illuminating the site like daylight, warm and bright. Priests climb the altar again, chanting solemn hymns, their voices echoing along the Nile. People stop what they're doing, joining the chant, devout as if speaking directly to the gods. Then everyone places small Osiris statues, flowers, and offerings into the Nile, letting them drift away. This symbolizes Osiris' soul returning to the underworld, continuing to judge the dead and protect Egypt's people. The third day is the festival's climax, honoring Osiris' resurrection. It's a day for family reunions, visiting relatives and exchanging blessings. The whole country wrapped in warmth and joy. At dawn, you and your parents set off for your grandparents' village with gifts. Their house is a larger adobe home, with a lush fig tree in the yard heavy with ripe figs, and a few lotus plants in the corner, their petals dotted with morning dew. Your grandmother waits at the door, wearing a dark blue linen robe and a lotus wreath, her face full of kindness. She hugs you tightly, stroking your hair, her hands warm. Your grandfather sits on a stone bench, smoking a clay pipe filled with dried herb tobacco, the smoke drifting gently, fragrant. He nods warmly at your arrival, gesturing for your father to sit, handing him a jar of cherished sweet beer. Your grandmother goes inside, soon bringing out a feast: roasted goose, boiled eggs, crispy bread, fresh fruits, and homemade honey water, sweet and rich. The family sits around the stone table, eating and chatting, the atmosphere warm and peaceful. Your grandmother tells you stories of her childhood Osiris festivals. It was just as lively then, though the temples weren't as grand, and there were fewer pyramids. The rituals were much the same, and the pharaoh's rule kept us safe and fed. In the afternoon, as the sun warms the air, your grandparents take you to the village square, where a grand communal feast is underway. Temporary awnings are set up, and every household brings their best food: roast meat, bread, fruits, beer, pastries, spreading them on long tables. People eat together, chatting and laughing, regardless of status or wealth, united in joy. Performers entertain the crowd with magic, acrobatics, and traditional dances, their skills drawing cheers from children and adults alike. Your grandmother takes your hand to a candy stall, buying you a honey and date sweet. It melts in your mouth, a delicious treat you've never tasted before. Your grandfather sits with the village elders, smoking his pipe, talking about the harvest, the pharaoh's achievements, and the pyramid's progress, their faces full of hope for the future. The fourth day is for gratitude and prayer. People return to the temple, offering tribute to Osiris and other gods, thanking them for blessings and praying for a good harvest, healthy livestock, and safety in the coming year. You and your parents go back to the Osiris temple with fresh offerings. The temple is even grander today. Altars piled with precious gifts, gold and gem jewelry, fine cloth, rare spices, along with the usual grains, fruits, meat, and beer. It's a display of devotion from nobles and officials. Priests wear grander robes, jewel-encrusted headdresses, and golden scepters, leading the ritual. Hymns, drums, and prayers fill the air, a sacred atmosphere that draws you in, filling you with reverence. You're lucky enough to witness the pharaoh's offering ritual. Ramesses II, surrounded by ministers, priests, and bodyguards, walks slowly to the altar, placing gold and gem offerings gently on the table. Guided by the high priest, he kneels and whispers a prayer, low and solemn. Then the priest repeats it loudly, echoing through the temple. Everyone kneels, listening respectfully, moved by his devotion. Your father whispers. The pharaoh prays not just for his family, but for all Egyptians. He asks the gods for good weather, fertile land, and abundant food. That's his duty as a god on earth. After the ritual, you and your parents wander the temple's surrounding market, picking out souvenirs. Tiny, exquisitely crafted clay pyramid models, papyrus paintings of Osiris, painted with natural pigments and carved with blessing hieroglyphs. Your mother buys you a new linen robe embroidered with Ra's pattern. The sun god, Osiris' father, a symbol of light and hope. Wearing this will bring you blessings from both Ra and Osiris, she says, protecting you as you grow. By the 5th day, the festival's excitement eases a little. People return to their daily routines, though joy still lingers in every corner of Thebes. Your father goes back to the pyramid site, focusing on final touches to ensure perfection. Your mother stays home, baking ritual pastries for the closing celebrations. You help her, learning to knead dough, shape the pastries, and decorate them. Your mother teaches you patiently, step by step. Offerings to the gods must be clean and beautiful, made with care. Every step matters. It shows our devotion. In the afternoon, you take the pastries to the pyramid site to visit your father. The craftsmen are cleaning the site, removing debris and leveling the ground, preparing for the pyramid's inauguration. Your father smiles warmly when he sees you, taking the pastries and sharing them with his fellow craftsmen. They praise your mother's skill, making your father proud. You sit in the corner, watching them work, tired but energetic, their eyes full of anticipation and pride. It's their hard work and devotion that built this magnificent pyramid, supporting Egypt's prosperity. They are Egypt's most honorable people. The 6th day honors Isis, celebrating her loyalty and perseverance in searching for Osiris, a tribute to family love and devotion. People dress as Isis, parading through the streets to show reverence. You and your mother join them, wearing white linen robes embroidered with lotus patterns. Your mother in an Isis headdress, you in a smaller version. The procession moves slowly, people holding fresh lotuses, chanting soft, devout hymns to Isis. At every stop, performers act out Isis' search, her grief, her hardships, her joy and sorrow at finding Osiris' body. Each detail is touching, drawing tears from the crowd, a testament to Isis' loyalty and strength. Your mother holds your hand, whispering. Isis symbolizes loyalty, motherly love, and perseverance. She traveled all over Egypt, never giving up, bringing Osiris back to life with her magic. This love and devotion are what Egyptians value most. Between husband and wife, parent and child, relatives, we must care for each other, support each other, stand together through hardships. Only then can families thrive and the country be peaceful. You squeeze her hand, vowing to cherish your family, to be as strong and loyal as Isis. As night falls, the procession returns to the Osiris temple, where priests hold a grand bonfire festival. The bonfire blazes, illuminating the square, warming everyone's hearts. People dance and sing around the fire, chanting sacred hymns, forgetting their worries and fatigue. You and your parents join in, dancing and singing, feeling the joy and devotion that transcends time. You stay until the fire fades, and the crowd disperses reluctantly. The 7th day is the festival's last, and the day of the pyramid's inauguration. Thebes erupts in excitement, people flocking to the pyramid site at dawn, eager to witness this historic moment. You and your parents join the crowd, talking excitedly about the ceremony, your hearts full of anticipation and pride. The pyramid site is guarded by the pharaoh's bodyguards, wearing sturdy armor and holding sharp spears, standing in neat rows to maintain order. A tall ritual altar stands in the center, holding statues of Ra and Osiris, precious offerings and curling incense, sacred and grand. The pharaoh and his family sit on golden thrones beside the altar, solemn, waiting for the ceremony to begin. The pyramid's craftsmen, dressed in clean linen robes, stand in front of the pyramid, proud and honored. They are the builders of this grand structure, witnesses to history, a glory that will stay with them forever. As the sun covers the land, the inauguration begins. The high priest stands atop the altar, holding a golden scepter, chanting a solemn hymn honoring the gods' blessings, the pharaoh's achievements, and the craftsman's hard work. His voice echoes across the site. After the hymn, Ramesses II walks to the altar, holding a golden scepter, praying solemnly to the gods and the pyramid. May this pyramid stand forever. May Egypt's rule last 10,000 years. May my people live in peace and plenty. He then walks to the pyramid, accompanied by craftsmen, placing the final decorative stone on top, carved with his name, the construction date, and blessing hieroglyphs. It symbolizes the pyramid's completion and the pharaoh's eternal legacy. As the stone settles into place, the crowd erupts in cheers. Craftsmen, bodyguards, onlookers shouting, "Long live the pharaoh! Long live Egypt!" Their voices resound through the sky. Ramesses II raises his hands to calm the crowd, announcing grand rewards for the craftsmen and laborers. 10 bags of grain, a jar of fine beer, and a small plot of land for each, ensuring they can live in peace. He also declares a grand feast at the pyramid square, inviting all Thebans to share in the joy and glory. The feast begins as night falls, bonfires lighting up the square, illuminating everyone's joyful faces. People sit around the fires, eating, drinking, dancing, and singing, the excitement and pride reaching their peak. You and your parents sit in the crowd, your father clutching the pharaoh's grain reward, his face full of contentment, your mother leaning against him, her eyes filled with happiness. You look up at the pyramid, glowing softly silver in the moonlight, a silent giant guarding the land and its people, witnessing Egypt's prosperity and glory. As midnight approaches, the celebration fades. People return home, tired but joyful. You walk back along the Nile with your parents, the cool night breeze carrying the Nile's moisture and the scent of herbs. The river is calm, moonlight reflecting on its surface like thousands of twinkling stars. Your father holds your hand tightly, your mother walking beside you, your shadows stretched long by the moonlight, warm and peaceful. This Osiris Festival is the most unforgettable of my life, your father says, sighing with emotion. The pyramid is finished. Our family is safe and well fed. This is the Unad, filled with emotion. This festival let you experience ancient Egyptian joy, feel the texture of their daily life, cherish the warmth of family, witness the pharaoh's majesty, and be part of the pyramid's historic inauguration. You understand now. Egyptians' devotion to the gods, love for family, and passion for life are woven into every part of this festival. The Osiris Festival is more than a celebration. It is a reflection of Egyptian values, carrying their hopes and dreams, witnessing their civilization's glory, and passing on the eternal pursuit of life, love, and perseverance. Now let the breeze carry the Nile scent and the temple's lingering incense, whispering this 1,000-year-old story. Close your eyes again and let the scenes unfold in your mind. The devout rituals at the temple, the joyful dances by the Nile, the solemn pyramid inauguration, your family's warm smiles, the pharaoh's majestic figure, the craftsmen's proud faces. These images, like a soft dream, linger in your memory, touching and timeless. Dear listeners, this journey through the millennium-old Osiris Festival comes to an end. May this story have brought you a glimpse into ancient Egyptian culture, customs, and daily life, soft, peaceful, and comforting. Now let your mind relax, drift with the moonlight and the Nile's rhythm, and sink into a gentle, restful sleep. Good night.